this project is happening now because that's when God wanted it to. For so many years, I've been asked, Tre, when are you gonna do a record? You should be recording, you should be doing all of these things when it comes to music. And honestly, I've tried so many times, but it just never came together like I intended it to. I had to learn a lot before it was the right time for me to complete a project. And so God's timing is always best anyway. And so through the ups, the downs, the years, I think this is the time God wanted it to happen. And so it's happening. So it's funny how God works. Maybe mid-2024, my guy, Dr. Doug Logan, shout out to him. He called me and he said, hey, I'm ready to do this album and to release my book finally. And I have this song. It's an old hymn and I want you to redo it. I want you to bring it to the modern day. And I said, okay, all right, just send it to me. We'll get it going. And so he sent it to me, and it's the old hymn by Charles Spurgeon, Amidst Us Our Beloved Stands. And I got with my wife. I said, hey, I need help putting this song together. She was able to reconstruct the song in a way to what you hear now. And I get with EJ and I say, EJ, man, I need your help. This is what I'm hearing. Our sound guy, Courtney, he comes over. He was like, hey, I really like that. I'm like, yeah, man. I said, we're doing this special project for a friend and we're just trying to figure out a place to record it. And he said, well, I got a setup at my house. You want to come by and lay it down there? Me, EJ, my wife, we all went over. We record the song, and after we completed it all, I said to my wife, I think I want to go ahead and do an album. And she said, oh yeah? And I said, yeah. I said, I kind of feel something inside of me. I felt like, that this was my opportunity to actually get in there and do it. What so many people fail to realize, there's a lot that goes into recording a project. I mean, you need material, you need resources, you need the talent, you need all of these components to come together to make it successful. And so I believe God did that through Our Beloved. And once we got done with Our Beloved, I said, let's go ahead and put together an album. And so the 4 songs that you will hear on this record is just the beginning. And I hope that it will be a blessing to each and every person that hears it.
My experience recording on this project was really exciting. It was fun for me. I think it was a challenge. Like, I have sang a lot of different times, but recording is like a different beast. So it was a new experience, but it was something that I really enjoyed. And I like the quality of being stretched in that way, so.
This is the first project I've ever been a part of, and just having the ability to, compose and come up with the different things I was doing, the different feels, the different inspirations I had. I would say this project was a life-changing experience for me.
This was a great learning experience. With this being my first time mixing in this genre, it helped me to pull out a lot of tips and tricks that I don't typically use on a day-to-day basis. And, just with the way we were arranging vocals and using all the live instruments, I feel like it gave me something to get out of my comfort zone and kind of see what I was capable of as far as mixing. And aside from that, I feel like it was a really great team effort, and we all kind of grew to be close like family throughout the whole process. So it kind of helped have a really comfortable creative environment.
Working on this project was the whole range of emotions. I've worked with Tre, worked behind Tre, playing piano and for a number of years, but actually being asked to help produce the project was a big ask, something that I feel like was unprecedented for me. And honestly, I think I did underestimate how much I would play into this project, but it was an experience for sure. I spent a whole lot of time with Jesus. I think it all came together how it needed to, and I think God was absolutely glorified at the end. So.
Working with Tre was an exquisite experience for me because the first time I had the opportunity to play here behind Tre and I noticed his gift, his voice, his vocal ability. I mean, I was always wondering, how come this man has not put anything out? And then out of the blue, I got the call and he told me about the project and he let me know he would like for me to be part of it. And it was, I had been waiting for that. So I jumped right on it and tried to do my best.
Working with Tre was a very smooth process. I feel like, he's worked his life to be prepared for a moment like this. And I feel like he really knew what he wanted. So I feel like that took care of half the battle. And aside from that, he was always very respectful and considerate and appreciative of all the time and effort put into the project. So, through whatever challenges or sacrifices we all made as a team, I feel like it always felt very worth it. And just the purpose of what we were trying to accomplish really inspired and motivated all of us to get it done. So it was a blessing to work with him, and it was also very inspiring just because of how talented he is and, quality driven, it helped me to kind of be able to take that and put that into my own work as well.
I'm having to crack the whip on Tre because he doesn't know how to stay on task. No, I'm kidding. No, Tre he's so much fun to work with. He is so gifted, so talented. He is skilled in so many different ways, but he's so humble. And he really is open to input, and he's not threatened or intimidated by other people and their gifts. It just makes for a comfortable experience, and you actually feel free to be creative when you're working with him because he's not trying to muzzle or limit you in any way.
Working with Tre, I would say, is nothing but a blessing. Him coming in, knowing what he wants from the beginning, knowing what to tell us, what to do, what he expects. Him being, a multi-musician, being able to play the drums and the piano, it's easy to work with him because he could be like, all right, I want this beat here, I want this to flow here, or I hear this sound here, I hear this sound there. It's so easy to work with. Working with Tre was just nothing but a blessing from start to finish.
I have said many times during this process, it's not just my album, but it's our album. There's a lot of firsts. Some of us are recording for the first time. Some of us are writing songs for the first time. Some of us are playing certain melodies, coming up with creative ideas for the first time. And so it's been a great experience working with my team. I needed each and every person and their gift to make this come to pass. And so I owe them so much. I just want to see this album just do wonders. I hope that it sparks something on the inside of them creatively. I hope that it will push them and drive them closer to God. And I just want us to continue to do what we've been called to do. And so it has been the best experience I have had in my career as a singer, as a recording artist. And I could not have done it without each and every person that is a part of this project.
My favorite song was Dwell. It currently still is Dwell. I just resonate really deeply with the lyrics of that particular song. It speaks to the current season that I'm in with just resting in God and being at peace with waiting on Him and just being in His presence.
My favorite song to work on would be Dwell. I think just through mixing all the songs and sitting with them, I think that's the one I found myself falling in love with more and more. And just throughout mixing it, being able to solo different components in the song, I felt like I just enjoyed hearing it more and more I listened to it, and especially the guitar parts. And I got a little credit in there.
The one that pushed me to my boundaries, that challenged me the most, and I would say it's Praise You Anywhere. I had to really work on it to get it right, but at the end, I would say that it was like a masterpiece in my opinion, so that was it for me.
My favorite song to work on would be Praise You Anywhere. That's also the most difficult song just because of the time signature, the different dynamics of the song, what Tre expected from the song. It was difficult, but it definitely took me out of my comfort zone. And sometimes it's great to be uncomfortable because that's how you grow and that's how you learn different things you could do and strive to higher heights. Dwell was fun, hands down, from start to finish. Dwell was fun. But Praise You Anywhere, definitely. Favorite song and most difficult song.
I'm partial to Dwell for personal reasons, and those reasons being that Dwell is a song that God gave to me at a point in my life where I was really struggling with anxiety. And the lyrics to that song, I like to refer to them as like the antidote for anxiety, because if you're rehearsing those lyrics or when you hear them, they just remind you of who God is and how trustworthy He is. And it really does inspire you to just let go and trust God.
Praise You Anywhere it's up there. Just from a technical standpoint, funny enough, that was probably the last song to be finished out of all the songs, because there were just so many ideas and a vision that we tried to execute for that song, and it took some time. Eventually, it all came together. I listened to the song and I was like, that's my baby. But I do also have to say Undone, just because of the way that song touches me personally. And even, the making of that song as well. It's very stripped down. It's a prayer closet type of song to me. So I really appreciate the beauty in that song as well.
I think this project has a lot for people to take away from it, but of all the people that it could be for, it's for people who really may not know God and may not understand from the Christian perspective why God is so important to us or why we serve Him the way we do. I just feel like the music with the themes and lyrics kind of really explains explicitly who God is to us and why we serve Him. So I hope that would be able to give other people a deeper perspective of that.
I think it's for creatives. I think musicians, singers will find this record to be entertaining. There's a lot of things happening creatively and vocally throughout this EP that I think people who are partial to those things, they will enjoy. Also, I think that this record is for people who need to be reminded that God is worthy of praise wherever you are, reminded that everything that we do is for Christ. No matter where we are, that place of brokenness and humility is the starting point for God to do incredible things in our lives. And then also that we can trust God. Everything concerning us, He already has in control, and we're in His hand, and there are no better hands to be in than His.
This album is for everyone. And I say that because everyone that came together to make this album, I feel like we were genuinely on one accord to glorify God and to bring some souls that may be lost, to bring them to God and to really just understand how great He is, how beautiful He is. It's for the musician, it's for the non-believer, it's for the believer that just needs some reassurance, some affirmation. It's for everybody.
This album is for the worshiper. This album is for the person who wants to go deeper in their relationship with the Lord. I think it's a really beautifully written album and very well thought out piece of art. And so I think it's for the person who has an open heart and is ready to receive what God has for them.
This album is to point people in the right direction in a world full of chaos. So to the great melodies, great songs, and Tre's uplifting voice, I think this would definitely contribute to helping those people.
I'm dedicating this album back to God. He's given me the talent, the ability, the know-how to be able to play the drums, and without Him, I would not be able to do what I do. So I would dedicate this back to Him, because without Him, none of us would be able to even compose or come together or do this. This whole experience has been nothing but God. So I'm dedicating this album back to Him.
My prayer is that you would allow the words to really settle on you, that you would listen with a fresh perspective, and that you would allow the Lord to speak to you and reveal to you what He would want to reveal, and to remind you that He is with you and He is for you.
My prayer would be that people be reminded of the unfinished work that God is doing within and around all of us. Just be a reminder to people to find a sense of peace and rest in the sovereignty of God and the provision of God. And just like the song Dwell says, I just hope that it can allow people to really sit in whatever situation, circumstance they find themselves in and appreciate and see God working in that situation.
I hope this album provides not just enjoyment, but it reaffirms their faith in God And as they listen to this album, they can be uplifted, they can find inspiration, they can find the strength, courage, and that their faith in God would be strengthened.
My prayer for those who listen to this project is just to be at peace. Every time I listen to each and every one of these songs, I feel at peace. And of course, I feel it personally because I spent such a great deal of time on them. And when everything was finally together, when we got sent that final mix, I felt at peace. So for anyone that listens to these songs, I hope you feel at peace.
My prayer for those who listen to this project is, if you don't know God and you hear it, it would bring you closer and allow you to like just feel the presence of God and build that relationship with him. And for those who know God, I want this album to be just like a praise and worship experience like no other. Like, you're just in God's presence. You feel that praise and that worship that you just want to get out. So that would be my prayer for those who hear the album.
My prayer is that people will be open to what we've created as a group. I pray that people will allow the songs to actually resonate with them, that they will be driven to worship, and they will be pleased with the creative elements and like what they hear.
This record means so much to me. Number one, because it's my first project from executive producer to producer, the singer, songwriter. It's the first time that I've ever headed a project like this, and I cannot wait for everyone who hears this record to be blessed by it. Growing up, my mom and my grandmother, I remember them having a singing group. They would record and they would go around singing, and that's how I kind of developed the love for music. But they never got the opportunity to put out anything that they had ever done recording-wise. And so this record is really special because I get to do something that my grandparents and my mom actually set out to do but never got an opportunity to actually do. And so I dedicate this to them, and I pray that it's a blessing to them and that it makes them proud.